Hello.
We're Movers One.
And welcome to the third edition of our podcast thingy.
That's right. We're doing 12 episodes, one a month for the whole of 2023 to mark 12 years of LDS, the London Disco Society, and also evolve into doing some other stuff and get a
chance to play some different music to what you might know us as, to explore our record collections with each other, have a chat, and hopefully find out some new music and new things about each other.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nice way to explore ourselves and the music that we're into. Should we get into it?
Yes, let's get into it.
Okay, cool. So, I'll go first. Did you go first last time? Who remembers?
I can't remember.
I can't remember. Yeah,
I'll
go first this time. It's a very short one. It's called Yellow Train by Resonance. And we played an all-night gig at Oslo recently, and it was one of the last tunes we played. And it was quite funny watching the crowd, wasn't it?
I think I know what's coming now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little.
Do you know what?
Curveball.
Should we play it and then we'll talk about it afterwards?
Yep.
Cool.
Let's get into it. So what was it called? Yellow Train by Resonance.
That's right.
So,
yeah, that was Yellow Train by Resonance.
And it was. There's a bit of context to the party that we played. It's called Locomotive Disco. So
that's true. Yes,
a bit of a train theme with the song, and but I think the timing of when you played that was particularly interesting because it was sort of end of the night, probably second to last tune, I think.
Yeah, it was second to last tune. Played that, and it was really funny because the crowd they didn't leave, but they just huddled together like penguins. The whole room just sort of like squished up into one little circle, and it was funny because the tune that we played afterwards, we played something really well known that sort of, you know, they recognised the lyrics immediately, and sort of watched the crowd spread out afterwards and relax.
I mean, bear in mind we'd sort of taken them on a ride like throughout the night. We've been playing all night long, and I think we'd been hitting some pretty peak time, sort of acid bangers at that point, and then he just drops that, and everyone's sort of a little bit late night wobbly sort of status, and then I saw this sort of crowd that was quite spread out across the room, just suddenly like huddle in one side, like on the right hand side.
They all just like squished together in like a little circle, and they were still like they were into it, but they also looked confused. I liked it. I like doing that to crowds.
Penguins.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. But like it's as you say, it's got a bit of a train theme. That tune, Yellow Train's got loads of train sounds, and the night is locomotive disco. And I do find it interesting that sort of the disco sound is so associated with trains for some reason. There's a lot of like reference to trains throughout disco, and I'm not really sure
New
what
York
that is.
subway.
Yeah, I know exactly that could be it. That could be what it's about. But I like it. I also part of me is like the sort of mechanical repetitiveness of a train is sort of like it comes across in the music quite a bit, with the the 4 to the floor drum pattern, which is just straight like doo doo doo.
Yeah, there is. Now I'm thinking about it. There's a lot of tunes actually that I've got that have train references.
Yeah.
There's a Nightlife Unlimited tune which is called Disco Choo Choo actually.
Yeah. I've got one. Get on the Funk Train by Munich Machine. We'll play that one time in the future.
Yeah, plenty. But yeah, actually maybe we could do a whole whole show on that.
But that tune there is a very short tune, and I tried to do a bit of research on it, and apparently it's a bit of a loft classic. I think that's probably how I heard about it, to be honest. How I ended up catching on to it and liking it. So that's something that would have been played at the Loft in New York. It's from like the early 70s, 1973 or 74. So it was pre-disco. So it's kind of cool in that sense, because it's probably one of the tunes that influenced the disco sound. And I know the producers also, I think they're French, maybe French Canadian, I'm not sure, but apparently they were quite innovative in their time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice, but yeah, it's definitely one to wig out the dance floor.
Yes.
I've got something completely different coming up next.
I can see the middle of it says Red Laser Records.
Yeah, are you familiar with Red Laser Records?
I am, yes. You know that tune that I play quite a lot, the acid disco tune.
Which one?
Yeah, no, it's literally called Acid Disco. Yeah, that's from Red Laser Records. It's a great record label from Manchester.
Yeah, so I've recently been digging quite a lot of their stuff, and I can't remember the other guy's name, Il Bosco and someone else.
That's the one, yeah.
But yeah, they've been going since about 2012, I think, and they've created their own brand of disco called Mank Tallow. which I think is pretty lovely.
That's a good description of the sound that they put out.
And their Bandcamp and just their general output is pretty hilarious if you follow them on social media. I mean, I'm just going to read a little bit. The very brief description of their Bandcamp is: Mank Tallow originated as a Manchester-based label going strong. Italo missiles, synth jizz sizzlers. It's a tongue twister.
Yes.
Analog chuggers, boogie bombs, rave bangers, and acid heat. I mean,
yeah, no, definitely.
That sounds like me, like a bit of me.
a lot of the stuff on the label is like a fusion of sort of the, more electronic side of disco, and then the ravey sound from Manchester, which is cool.
Yeah, a lot of the old school kind of hardcore stuff. That's the sort of stuff I'm really digging at the moment. They've got a real sound of that old school classic feel, and then a whole other side which is all Italo stuff, which is brilliant.
Yeah. Let's have a well. Tell me what tune is.
Can I remember what the tune is? 1 second. This one is You and Me. Yeah, it's You and Me. I'm going to play. And
by DJ Absolutely Shit.
Yeah, so that's their other alias. That's their alias that they go under to make this kind of ravey stuff. And I really like the title of this EP as well. It's called Screaming Kids and a Messy House.
Hold that one up, actually. Just the artwork that they do is great.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to get into it.
Yeah, let's have a little listen. I'll bring this with backbeat down.
Dust this off.
Yeah,
Lovely stuff.
Yeah, I really, really love that record. Not just that tune, but yeah, all of them on there. But yeah, we were just talking about it, like their sampling method. They sort of take quite well-known samples and mix them into these tunes, which kind of works. It's that sort of harmony of something that people recognise with a bit of like grit.
Yeah, sampling is back in a big way, and some people are doing it really badly, but they do it well. They do it really well.
Yeah, and so the vocal on that unmistakably was Brandy. I Wanna Be Down, I think, is the track.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then there's another sample in there. I was sort of scratching my head with thinking it was trying to think what it is, and I think it's Sons of a Loop, the Loop era, a track called Far Out, which was like another hardcore tune.
Yeah.
Back in the day, classic kind of piano vibes.
I like that the hardcore sound is coming back a bit as well. People are just opening their minds a bit more, and they're going, "What's this all about? Then what's that all about?" Instead of just being strictly house music or strictly this, or it's nice. It's nice.
I'm a fan of breakbeat.
Yeah,
so
no, me too. Exactly.
I'm happy it's back.
Yeah, 100%. Like breakbeats over like beats that are sort of house tempo. Oh, great, love it. Yeah, no, that was brilliant. Shall we move on to my next one?
Yeah, what have you got?
So March obviously includes International Women's Day on March the 8th, and we're recording this a little bit afterwards, but we thought it would be nice to do something in the podcast to mark International Women's Day. And one of the ideas we came up with is playing all records produced by women. And that proved to be a bit difficult, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Whilst I've got a load of tunes and records by singer-songwriters.
Tons of vocals by women.
Yeah, actually, the producer side of things, it was an interesting thing to go through my collection and discover. Actually, I don't have that much by women producers. Which highlighted to me that actually there are some that I know of that I should buy their records, being the first step. But then also, the disparity between how many of my record collection, how many of my records are produced by men.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that sort of brought us on to a series that I worked on, a video series that I worked on earlier this year called Producer Pioneers with Resident Advisor and Classic Album Sundays. And it was all about women producers. And what I learned from that is that only 6% of producers identify as women, which is absurd that there's so few women producers that exist. So
crazy.
That's probably why we found it very difficult to follow through with that idea of playing records produced entirely by women. That was, the series Producer Pioneers is a great series, by the way. It's on YouTube. You should definitely check it out. The idea of the series was to inspire the new generation of women producers. So it was hour-long talks, sort of like seminars. So there's an audience there and they get to ask some questions. And we spoke to Honey Dijon, Flava D, Emma Jane Thackeray, and Lucinda Chua. And they're all really insightful.
Fantastic producers as well in their own right.
No, they're all brilliant, and all of the talks are so inspiring. So I guess, go and, if you want to hear more from the perspective of women producers, go and check out those videos on YouTube now. They're on the Resident Advisor YouTube channel.
What's it called? The actual
Producer Pioneers, the series is called.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. When I was shooting it and when I was editing it, I was just like listening, going, yes, it's so inspiring, loved it. So definitely check it out. But my record that I've got here was from the Flava D episode, which was the second one that we did. Flava D was there talking about her experiences as a producer, and she gave out some records that were signed. She gave me 2 EPs. Well, it was actually Elijah that gave them to me. 2 EPs with 4 tracks each. So I've got 8 Flava D tunes. And the one I've decided to play is a bit of a sort of grime instrumental, angry grime.
And on that's very kind of them to be handed to you. But what I've realised is that I should go out and buy and support some of these artists that I love their music, but I just don't have. I've got digital copies, but I don't have the records. So go out and buy them, support, kind of elevate, lift up, and try and encourage more people to do so. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if there's a woman producer that you're into, go and buy their records, support it.
Yeah,
cool. Let's play this Flava D tune anyway.
Is it Untitled?
It's a white label. I tried Shazamming the name of the tune, and I so that I could find out the name of the tune, and I couldn't. And it's a white label record, so no idea, but it's one of Flava D's many incredible productions.
Yeah.
That was an unknown grime instrumental by Flava D that was given to me by Elijah at the Producer Pioneers shoot.
So, I liked it. It was nice. It was like there was a few bits. I mean, I've not massively been into grime myself, but there's been a few bits. I think Swindle made some stuff that was kind of on that sort of tip that I really liked.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like Flava D, she's been a bit of a pioneer in the genre, which is big in itself because it's a very male-dominated genre. So, yeah, there's big respect to any women producers that are smashing it in their field, or even not smashing it, just trying to get out there. We need more women producers. But yeah, I really enjoy my grime. Grime's got a sort of important place in the London music culture, whether you like it or not. And so it's nice to be able to represent that as well. So what have you got anyway?
I have got a track by Betty Wright.
Nice.
Another quite strong woman. The tune actually is sort of in the theme of Move as One.
Nice.
Well, the title of it is Dancing on the One.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We haven't spoken about the meaning behind Move as One yet on this month's episode.
No, so we maybe should do that now.
Yeah.
So Move as One is a sort of theme, idea / feeling that we've had over, I guess, developed over the course of the years of doing what we do on and off the dance floors. DJing from behind the booth on the dance floor, and then actually just sort of in everyday life. The idea is that we all kind of move in
as
some
one.
sort of as one in some sort of rhythm together. And
yeah, exactly. It's about sort of capturing the idea of everyone coming together to become one moment or one thing, being aware of everyone, just dancing to one beat. And when we're in the booth, we sort of become one, creating this moment as well with the music. And so we've picked up on this oneness, togetherness throughout many of the things that we've done, and that's what we're trying to encapsulate. And joining all these different genres together as well is part of it, because we're kind of showing that music's not separate, it's one continuous sort of echo of culture.
Yeah, there's unity within the sounds.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nice to be able to just express those openly and just play whatever we like.
Exactly. Taking away all those barriers and going, do you know what? Music is music. Let's play it. But let's hear this Betty Wright tune then.
So the sound of Betty Wright, originally from Miami, Florida.
Is she from Miami? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Miami. Yeah, we were just talking about it. She started her career at a staggeringly young age of 12. She signed her first record. How mad is that?
That's kind of like like when your family pushes you in. Like, what was she like? What were her tunes like when she was 12?
Well, I think she comes from a gospel background.
Right.
From what
Okay.
I understand,
Yeah.
So probably singing in the church quite a bit.
Yeah.
Early tunes more on the soul tip. I think the
'cause
famous song was "The Clean Up Woman." That was probably her first hit, I think.
Yeah. She was making tunes like well in the early 60s. Is that right? Or
yes. Yeah, I believe so. But yeah, went on to. I was reading as well. She went on to discover both George and Gwen McRae.
Right. Yeah.
George McRae, "Rock You Baby," classic tune.
Yeah.
And Gwen, she's done loads.
Keep the fire burning.
Yeah. So, credit to her for that. Thanks. Shout out Betty Wright for those discoveries.
Yeah, respect.
And then, went on throughout the rest of her career to work with loads of different people, from Alan Toussaint to Peter Brown, making kind of proto-disco tracks. There was one in particular called Shara, I think.
Right, yeah. I think my sort of knowledge of her is that she was making music for a very long time, like throughout different decades. A bit like Cher, but not as
What's the word? Be
what's
careful with your words there. Better.
Yeah, let's just say that she's been making music for a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, if you started at the anyone that starts at the age of 12 is gonna have a head start on most people, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that was the tune was "Dancing on the One" by Betty Wright, and I think there's no album title on this. No, just Betty Wright.
Nice, nice big picture of her face. That's what you need sometimes. Cool.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed that.
It's a nice face.
Yeah. I like the sort of the retro style of the photography as well. It's like that's one of the lovely things about record sleeves that you can have. It's literally like a piece of art. It's like a really nice portrait. Mm-hmm. Whereas like you don't get that with an MP3.
You don't. No.
Just getting a beard hair off my moustache. Hold on.
Off your moustache? Or
off your microphone? My microphone moustache, yeah.
What's your beard hair doing in your moustache, mate? Get it back down there on your chin. Right, enough of that. What have you got next for us?
So, I've got an edit of a very well-known Thelma Houston tune. I absolutely love this Thelma Houston tune. You'll know it very well. It's a bit played out, but I love it. But this edit's kind of fun, and I don't think you've heard this edit because I've not played it in a club, because there's always a different version that I go for, but I might play this one out. But yeah, let's have a listen.
Okay.
I'll surely miss your tender kiss. Don't leave me this way. without your love. Without your love. Oh baby, 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 please. Come on, satisfy. Baby, baby, please. Come on, satisfy. Come on, satisfy. Baby, baby, please. Come on, satisfy. Baby, baby, please. Come on, satisfy. Come on, satisfy. Can't stay alive. Come on, satisfy. Come on, satisfy. Can't stay alive. Come on, satisfy. Come on, satisfy. I can't exist. I'll surely miss your tender kiss. Don't leave me this way. I need your love right now. I need your love right now. Baby, my heart is full of love and desire for you. Now come on down and do what you gotta do. You started this fire down in my soul. My heart is full of love and desire for you. Now come on down and do what you gotta do. You started this fire down in my soul. My heart is full of love and desire for you. Now come on down and do what you gotta do. You started this fire down in my soul. My heart is full of love and desire for you. Now come on down and do what you gotta do. You started this fire down in my soul. Now can't you see it's burning out of control? And come on, satisfy the need in me. 'Cause only your good loving can set me free. I need your love right now. Come on, satisfy the need in me. Come on, satisfy the need in me. Come on, satisfy the need in me, baby. Come on, satisfy the need in me. Ooh, hey, hey, baby, come and satisfy the need in me. Oh, baby, come and satisfy the need in me. Oh, I need it, I need it, I need your love right now. I need it, I need it, I need your love right now.
I'll end that one there because it keeps going.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I love the Thelma Houston vocal, and that's a really cool edit. Let me just try and read who it's by.
It's got that. I was talking to you about it before, wasn't I? That Laurie Anderson, Oh Superman. It's like that first bit. That little kind of snippet.
Yeah, see, I wasn't sure where it was from, but I definitely recognised it. Yeah, but yeah, the edit, it says artist unknown. It's got a picture of like a painting on it. There's an edit series basically, and all the artwork is these different paintings. I think they're called like arty edits or canvas edits, something like that. I can't quite remember, but it says artist unknown. I like it anyway. One of the things I really like about that vocal though is, and like sort of disco vocals in general, is the sort of the subtle like sexual references, because it sounds very much like she's talking about love, but I've always interpreted it as that she's saying, don't leave me without giving me an orgasm. That's how I've always seen it. and that's one of the reasons I've always loved that tune. And there's a lot of disco tunes like that where it's kind of like it can be taken two ways.
We all know what's going on in your head.
But she's like, you've started a fire down in my soul, please don't leave me this way, come on and satisfy. It's like it's kind of obvious but subtle. And yeah, I mean, I'm not one of these people that gets upset by how crude lyrics are these days. I'm all for it, but I also can appreciate the subtlety of tunes like that. And I think that was something that was really nice about the disco era, because you couldn't just be so out there with the lyrics.
Double entendre.
Yeah,
kind of like, just
and
hidden.
Exactly, and in a way also, sort of tying into International Women's Day, it's kind of like a bit of a feminist thing to be able to talk like that, and have it like back then having to do it in sort of riddles and be like, I want to talk about getting my satisfaction, but I have to do it like this. And I think people in that era were pioneering with that sort of way of doing stuff, so I appreciate it for that reason.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Right, so I've got a record by a South African bassist and singer called Sipho Gumede, I think is how you pronounce it, I'm not sure. It's a reissue that's just sort of been unearthed by my friend Roy on his record label Vive la Musique. And yeah, so the track is called Uthinina, I think, and we'll play it and then we'll have a chat about it afterwards.
Yeah, nice. Let's have a listen.
When
Utinina.
Utinina, yeah. Forgive my pronunciation there.
I like it.
Yeah, it's very nice. So yeah, he's sort of Roy on his labels unearthed that one. There's some other gems on there, but that one I really like the sort of the melodic sort of floatiness of. I think originally released in 1983 on an album by Sipho called Peace. Yeah, there's some amazing stories on the back of this sleeve. It's too much for me to recount, but
I was going to say it's got that sort of 80s South African boogie vibe to it.
Yeah, I think
there's a lot of stuff like that.
From what I understand, he went through quite a few different phases, and that was quite a turning point for him, from what I understand from reading. But yeah, there's some great stories on the back of this record, in particular relating to the producer Greg Cutler, who was actually an English guy who went over to South Africa, and it was during apartheid, so it was quite a tough time to sort of be there, and a lot of unrest happening. And you know, he talks about the relationships that he formed with some of the black musicians during that time, and having to get smuggled into the township. If he wanted to go and see a gig, he had to get smuggled into the townships.
Oh, wow,
and he'd often be the only white person there, and his contemporaries would call him reckless and crazy, you know, back at the recording studio for going into these places.
But then doing that has resulted in him working with these artists, and
yeah. But I think, you know, a lot of these people, as he says in the story, it's, you know, a lot of these record execs and people they bought into the mainstream white agenda, that, you know, all of the rest of them were dangerous and criminals.
Right, yeah.
Whereas actually what he recounts was quite a welcoming experience when he went to these gigs.
Yeah.
In the township. So yeah, definitely recommend checking out the rest of that. It's had some high praise from the likes of Honey and Antal.
And anything on a Root Roy's label, because he's a
digger. He's got some.
Yeah, he's always unearthing these gems, and they've always got such a good vibe to them. I love everything he does.
Yeah. So yeah, this is Sipho Gumede, and on the album Something to Say, which actually is the title track. Fantastic tune, completely different energy, like more bouncy, more groove to it than that.
Yeah.
Not groove, but I mean,
you have to play that to me some other time.
Yeah.
Nice.
What have you got next?
What have I got? Okay, so this is quite a fun one. It's called Let Loose by Set the Tone. It's a tune from 1982. It's kind of proto house, but the people that made it weren't anything to do with like the sort of New York or Chicago music scenes. They're from Glasgow, and I think they kind of came from more of a punk background, but they decided to make some music with an 808 drum machine and a slap bass. I'm going to start it kind of from the middle because it's a 9-minute long tune, so I'm going to not play all of it, but we'll have a listen and then we'll talk about it. Yes, that was Set the Tone, Let Loose.
Those snare drums.
Just the whole. It's just a bit of a mental tune, and I like it.
Yeah.
I've got a special connection with it now as well because I've always been scared to play that one out because I feel like it's a bit of a Marmite tune. Like it could go really well or really bad, and I think you've got to sort of read the moment and know whether it's right to play it. Kind of like the first tune that I played on the podcast today. But I played it in my set at Shambhala in 2022, and it went down really well. And I just remember watching, because the full tune is 9 minutes long, and I was just watching this room full of like colourful people in like mad outfits just losing their shit to that for 9 minutes.
Yeah, I think like I quite like that. You know, actually, that was only half the time that was going to be for the full record. And I like it. I was actually thinking about this the other day when we were doing the radio show, not this one, on Nettle Radio.
Yeah.
About and it was a question that I was going to ask you, and then I forgot. It was like, do you think over the years of doing this you've become more patient?
Right, yeah.
Because I had a flashback to, you know, the early days of us doing our thing. I think being young, probably, you know, a bit more ego about us. Playing together was often challenging because we didn't let each other's tunes finish.
Yeah. I mean, I think that comes from just not being too experienced as DJs as well.
But also
playing back to back is kind of an
also
art.
like my tune, I want to play my tune. This kind of like energy of like, my tune's like more important than your tune.
Yeah, I think there was definitely some of that. It was like, because, you know, if I play a long tune or you play a long tune, and maybe whoever's mixing next isn't really that into it, like it's a bit of a Marmite tune, for example, then yeah, it could easily go like, oh, I'm just gonna mix out with like 4 minutes of the tune left.
Yeah.
And yeah, we used to do stuff like that to each other sometimes. But I think also, like you say, it's that. But I think also it comes with the experience of playing back to back, because sometimes you don't know what's coming in a tune when you're playing back to back with someone and you don't know their tunes, and you kind of have to trust that it's going to go somewhere and something's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. But I think even, you know, that was a question in terms of playing with someone, but then also just in terms of my own sense of, even if I'm playing by myself, the patience to just let the get out the way and let the music do the work. Yeah. Because sometimes it often feel like these days, especially with the way that DJ culture has been presented, is like you've got to be up there fucking doing this, jumping around, fireworks, all of this stuff. And I mean, neither you or I, we like to have a dance, but we're not really those kind of people. Yeah. I
mean, in terms of having a dance, it kind of helps back to back, because one of us can be mixing whilst the other one is just like losing it. But I guess like when we're by ourselves, it doesn't necessarily go like that, does it?
No, but I mean, that's not necessarily what I mean, though. I think, you know, this thing for the theatrics of a DJ rather than, you know, and I think often you can feel like you should be doing something other than just playing music. And you know, whatever it is, noodling with effects, doing all this, like, you know, whatever it is, what they call it, hot buttons. And and you know, what struck me is actually, you know, we're playing records that have been designed quite often for the dance floor, and you know, they're very long, and if you just let them play, you
don't need to do anything to them. They're designed to make the dance floor go wild.
You just stand back and watch the whole thing unfold.
I mean, that's a skill in itself, isn't it? But I definitely think that both of us are better at doing that now. Yeah, for sure. And like, I love a really long record, and if someone booked me to play an hour set, I could turn up with 4 15-minute records and be like, cool, that's
done. Easy.
And I like playing a really long record to a crowd as well, and seeing how they react to it. Because like, you know, it has to be the right time to do that, and you have to have worked them up into the right place, because if you just went on and played a 15-minute tune, they'd get bored.
Totally. I mean, it's not. I think playing 15 minutes. I think I did go to see some of the old sort of Paradise Garage classics, and I enjoyed it. But they were playing literally 15-minute tunes back to back.
Yeah,
and I think I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it to get into that. But I think in this current day and age where people's attention spans are so short that like it's hard to kind of get away with that.
yeah, no, it definitely is. It's definitely harder these days, I feel, to play longer tunes. Yeah, to the sort of crowd that we encounter on a regular basis. But that's why I whipped that one out at Shambhala. I knew I could get away with it there at that time, and that's why it brings me so much joy now, because it takes me back to this moment where everyone's really into this tune, which is effectively just a drum machine going through like some effects pedals and then a slap bass, and it's just a bit mad, and I like it. It's kind of like, even I said it's kind of proto house, but it's maybe even like proto techno, because it kind of reminds me of some of like the Plastic Man stuff.
I was gonna say it reminds me of Plastic Man, that tune Spastic.
Yeah,
and then there's another
tune which is not a very nice word these days, but that's what the tune was called.
And another tune by, what was his name? Vitalik.
Yeah.
Do you remember Vitalik?
Yeah.
Called Valletta Fanfares. It's basically they're two very similar tunes, which are just basically snare drums.
Yeah. Just big snare drum rolls.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, exactly. It reminds me of that. But it was made in 1982 by some Glaswegians that sort of had a bit of a punk band, which is just cool. If you look them up on YouTube, Set the Tone. There's electro
punks.
Yeah, exactly. So there's like some great videos of them performing on a TV show, and like they've got the 808 round their neck, playing it like an instrument, and they're just like losing it on stage, and it's cool. Check
Excellent.
it out.
Cool, I'll have to have a look into that.
Yeah.
So we've got the final tune of this episode. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Tell your friends, and make sure you check out the previous episodes if you haven't seen them. We've got 2 episodes already locked and loaded, so if this is the first one that you're seeing, you've got 2 that you can go back and have a look at, and make sure you click that subscribe button. It makes us look good and you get to find out about future stuff that we're doing, future editions of this. This is the 3rd one down, so we've got a few more to go.
9 more.
9 more. Yeah, good maths.
Quick maths.
Yeah.
We're also planning to do a few other things with the YouTube channel, aren't we? We were talking about doing some mixes that are just like no talking mixes, but this is the primary thing. But we will use the YouTube channel for other stuff. Yeah. So subscribe and see what we get up to.
And then we've also got an Instagram at moveas1.music. So head over to there. Sorry, my alarm is going off on my phone.
At moveas1.music. We've got considerably more followers than we had last month.
Which is quite amazing, because we've done absolutely nothing with it.
We've posted basically nothing.
We've probably grown like 10 more followers.
Yeah,
10 more.
It's been
10 more followers.
Exponential growth.
Huge, massive growth. But anyway, make that 11. Click those buttons and follow us. But enough of the promo spam. I'm going to play a record for you, and I think this will be the last one that will see us out until next time. Until
the start of April.
Yes. So the track I've got is by Westcoast Goddess, who I believe is from Berlin. I'm not sure if it's just Berlin based. Kind of makes a few different things, but this one sort of harks back to some of those kind of like loopy edits that we used to like. I'm sure there's loads more people you probably know, but off the top of my head, like Tiger and Woods sort of vibe of kind of loopy. Yeah,
to be honest, I can't really remember the names of many of the editors that were making those sort of things, but there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
And I haven't really listened to much of that stuff or played much of that stuff in a long time, but I just found this tune on this record, and it made me feel good and nostalgic.
That's what it's about,
and
right?
Nostalgic about kind of a particular time. But this is a relatively new iteration of that sound, and it's melodic. It feels good, and it is called Elf in Glamour by Westcoast Goddess.
Elf in Glamour. Nice. Let's have a listen.
And see you on the next episode of Movers One.
Yes, see you on the next Movers One
See you
episode. And also shout out to Spillers Records, the oldest record shop in the world that gave me this t-shirt.
Okay, getting some last minute promo spillers there.
Yeah. Cool.
See you later.
Bye-bye.